There we go, it appears.
Yay.
Good afternoon. My name is Paul Church from Clarity Craft here in the UK.
And my name is Louise Goldin.
From Clarity Craft
From
here
Clarity
in the UK.
Craft in the UK as well.
Just as well, really. Good afternoon and welcome. It's Monday, it's 2 p.m. and so it's another episode of Clarity Social TV. Lovely Gracie will be in the building with you all the way from New York. So if you have any questions, she's there to help. I can see we've got some friends coming into the room already. Excellent. And hopefully the sound is good. We'll get that. There we go. Good afternoon, Catherine. Welcome.
Hello, Catherine.
There we go. Sound is great. Thank you, Gracie. So if there's any questions, Grace will push those through to us if we miss them. There we go. Everyone's coming in now. Pull up. It's a lovely day out there this afternoon, isn't it? There's me in a jumper because I haven't ironed any shirts. We've got the window open. Yes, spring has definitely sprung, don't you think?
Yes, definitely. And it's warming up this week, isn't it, as well?
I believe so.
So no jumpers later on in the week.
No, definitely not. I'll have to. Means I've got to go home and iron some shirts. Goodness me.
No.
That'd be fine though. I'll iron one. Because when are we back up? So I'll need one tomorrow because we're going to do some pre-records.
We are, yes.
For the 123 online course. So that's all kicking off tomorrow for the pre-records. And then obviously Barb's in the shack on Thursday evening at 7. So lovely. So that's Thursday. And then Friday, 10 and 2, Barb and I will be doing our thing on the dual screen. It's technology is so clever.
It's amazing.
And the technology that we use to bring these TV shows to our friends at home. We've got control of the cameras, the split screen, and we can still, despite the fact that Barb's several miles away over in Crowborough and I'm here at Clarity headquarters, we can still have that same banter and interaction.
Go live at the same time.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It really is sort of great fun. So as you know, on a Monday and Tuesday at 2 p.m, we bring you an hour or so of Clarity Social TV. And for the month of March, we're looking at Japan, aren't we? We're celebrating all things Japan. And as a result of that, if you put the code Japan10 when you check out, so if you decide to buy anything, either from this show or from the website generally, then you'll get an additional 10% off your order.
Can't be bad.
Absolutely. And the show we did yesterday with Barb, if you missed that, that was using the beautiful Shack floral panel stamps and stencils. And if you missed that, you can go back to our Clarity Tube YouTube page and watch that back as well. Or if you go to the claritycrafts.com website, there's a section that's called Catch Up on Craft. Okay, so you go into that section and every single Clarity Social TV show we've brought to our friends at home is all there.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Okay, so it's like that sort of TV guide that never disappears.
Constant library of all sorts of different videos, isn't it?
It is. So, and in there you'll find a link to the products being showcased during that video. There's also downloads as well. So if any demos were done, then we create downloads for you to download, print off, save to your computer, so that if you do order any products or you've been following along those demonstrations, then you say, oh, this is what was used. And I didn't quite hear what Barb was saying or Louise was saying, but look, on that list, it tells me exactly what it is I need to do.
Definitely.
So it's a great resource for going back, so that when your product does arrive, you think, right, I want to do what they did, then you can do that.
Yeah, exactly what you need to get started.
Absolutely. So it's a lovely spring afternoon. So this afternoon, we're bringing you the groovy version of the Shack floral panels. We have a collection of 6 A5 square plates. So I'll bring the details up on the screen so we can have a look. So we'll go to that pack shot. So you can see here, let me just bring up the details on there. So the item number for this collection, maybe it's the first time you've seen it, is item number 42125. Barbara Shack floral panels, A5 square, groovy plate, complete collection. So exactly how the A5 square stamps came yesterday. You've got your 6 different flowers working across the top. You've got your snowdrop, your dahlia or dahlia, depends how you wish to pronounce it, the japonica. Then moving down underneath that, you then have your Scots pine, you've got your roses, and then you have your tulip. So the collection we're bringing to you today has a £15 saving, bringing it down to £41.94. But if you're a Diamond Club member, that brings it down to a further £35.65.
Wow.
And then if you put Japan 10 in the discount mode, you'll get another 10% off, which is another £3.56.57. So it's just over £30
that's really
for
good.
that complete collection.
For 6 plates.
It is indeed. So what I thought what we'd do, Louise, is we'd have a look in a little bit more detail on the overhead, because we also have them available in various different pairs. So maybe you think, oh, I've got this one or I've got that one. So the first 2 in the collection, I will bring those details up on the side of the screen, are the dahlia and the rose. So let's have a look at those. So this is the plates, exactly how they come.
They're very fresh and funky, aren't they?
And it's nice because, as we know with the groovy system, you've got all these different elements, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got sorts of different frames as well. There's different sizes. You've got the square and the rectangle, and then the larger rectangle. But you can mix and match. You don't have to have all of the frames. You can just have the dotted frame. That's the good thing about groovy, is that, you know, you can use it all, or you can use just one frame.
That's right. So if you're interested in this pair, so to speak, not us, but the pair of plates on your screen, the item number is 42126, a £4 saving, bringing it down to £14.98. So should we have a look at each of them individually in a little bit more detail? So I'm going to zoom in again. There we go. So this is the rose. Let's just bring that one over. There we go. And I love this. I hope you have a lovely day.
I love that it's in a different script as well.
It's nice, isn't
really
it?
Nice.
And obviously you can mix and match those through the various different designs. So should we have a look at some artwork? So if I bring in the rose. So this one here is from Carol Baker.
That's so pretty, isn't it? A perfect use of lots of lovely grid work. We were doing some grid work this morning, weren't we?
We were in Groovy Tuesday.
Yeah, but that's really lovely. And then just on the pink parchment, really
soft
pretty.
And subtle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then I reckon I know who this one is, but I do need to check. So this one is Frances Knott.
Yeah, wow.
See, she's taken this bit. If we have a look on the plate.
Oh, yeah.
So what Frances has done, she's just taken this outer part here of this frame
and made a larger
and
frame.
made a larger frame.
Oh, that's really clever, isn't it? I didn't see that before.
No, sometimes it's amazing, isn't it, how the design team interpret them and pick up different elements. Then we have this one from Julie Campbell. I mean, look at that picot cutting. Wow. I'm going to zoom in on this one. So you can see
picot cut to an inch of its life.
It really is. Look at those stems. So
wow, very delicate.
Beautiful. So we shall zoom back out on that one. And then this one here is from the lovely Jane Telford. That's on some of our designer parchment.
Yeah, I love the black line art sometimes with parchment and white work. It looks so elegant together, doesn't it? But also really funky and fresh.
That's right.
And mixing it with like the white line art as well. And we've got one of our tags as well. That's really nice with the picot squares, just in case you didn't feel up to picot cutting all the way around the outside. You've got a whole square, you've got the picot cut squares. Nice bit of ribbon. Yeah, Jane's done really
lovely.
Well with that.
And then if you want to have a look at the dahlias, so if you leave those there while you bring the dahlia in, there we go.
So that's
look at
dahlias.
That. I love this.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's really pretty. Let me bring in.
Oh, Jane just told me that one is actually the stamp.
Oh, is it a stamp?
She's stamped that one.
Oh.
And then she's taken the groovy elements to frame it.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is.
Ah.
Yeah. Stamped
you
onto
can-
designer parchment.
Yeah.
Use the white work.
That's
Mix and
clever.
match.
Mix and match, definitely.
Right, so now we've got some nice dahlia parchment. I love the tool work around the outside here. That's so pretty. Okay. Using a lace frame as well around the outside. Nice frame here, and then just one dahlia on its own. That's really pretty, isn't it?
Really, really nice.
And I think this might be using the grid plate mate that we're going to show a bit later. Looks very similar.
On the outside.
Yeah, very similar to that one as well. So that's the dahlia as well. So the rose and dahlia as a pair is 42126.
Super duper. And then the next one in the collection, let's bring these ones in. Let's zoom back out. So let's go back out onto that one. And the next one is the dahlia. We've looked at the dahlia and the rose.
Yep,
now we're going to look at snowdrop and tulip. There we go.
Wow, I like them.
So you've got the lovely, elegant snowdrops.
Yeah, that's lovely with your white work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Snowdrop. And then we've got the tulip. That's very funky as well. I like that. So if I just have a look at some artwork.
Yeah. So we'll zoom in then. We can have a look at that essentially. Where are we going first? We're going to the tulip.
Tulip first.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, that's so pretty. Right, so we've got a lovely one from Karen Jackson. I love the lilac and lavender look. That's really lovely. And a really good job with that one. And we've got one from Carol Baker. See, that's nice. It doesn't always have to be a square or a large card. It's a nice, really nice slim card with just the 3 square panels. And it looks like also 2 of them have just been picot cut inside. That's really lovely.
So it's revealing the cuts. I reckon that's the orange squash.
Oh, yes.
Coloured parchment.
Yeah, that's really lovely. So the orange goes really well. And then we've got some nice, the 3 panels just as it comes, with some lovely writing at the bottom with, I think that's the Northern Lights paper, isn't it, behind?
I think that's Northern Lights behind there indeed. And it's got some lovely perga glitter on there as well. It has got some
gorgeous glitter. I don't know if you can see it on the
look
screen,
at that.
But we can. It's so pretty.
So let me just bring those details over. So there we go. So the snowdrop and the tulips. So do you want to have a look at some snowdrop artwork, Louise?
Look at the snowdrop artwork.
There we
so
go.
There it is as it comes. And then we've got a few cards to show you. The lovely Glynis. This is really pretty. The blue with the white looks so elegant together. And I believe Glynis has used the 4-needle tool using Linda's handbook, volume 1.
Oh, I thought I recognised that. Yeah, using the multi-needle tool book.
Yeah, and then the moon tool around the outside as well. That looks really pretty.
Glynis does love a bit of a multi-needle tool.
She does, doesn't she? It's lovely. And then this one, no name.
Soft and subtle. I like that. So this is using some dies that Barbara's. That's using the
doodle die, is it? Or
rectangle doodle dies, frame it. So that's the one where you get the one large die and it cuts out what I call the floppy bits.
And that's brilliant, isn't it? And the good thing about those is it works so well with parchment as well.
It does, doesn't it?
Really nice.
Beautiful.
And then, I wonder who did this one. I don't even need to look, really. It's Frances.
Frances, look at that.
Beautiful white work.
Some
and
gold
again,
work.
another bit of the, she's used the ledge for the frame again as well. And picot cut in between. Wow, look at that.
And our lovely pastel brads. They work perfectly,
don't
they?
They? Yeah, I don't very rarely use the green and the yellow, but I might do actually because they look really nice.
They're beautiful for sort of like the botanical type of cards, aren't they?
Definitely, yeah, with the florals and everything. They work really well together.
And then the final 2 in the collection are the Japonica and the Scots Pine.
These are nice.
There we go. So the item number for that is 42128, a £4 saving, bringing it down to £14.98.
Wonderful. So, let's have a look at some
artwork. Should we start with the Scots Pine?
Yes.
There we go. So we'll bring that into the middle. There we go.
Ooh. There There we go. Francis again.
Is it a Francis?
It is a Francis. Wow, look at that. That's really, really in depth. You can see every single segment of that pine cone.
You really can, can't you?
This one, lovely modern fresh one, using our, is it Shenandoah?
Yes, that's Shenandoah designer parchment and paper in the background.
Yeah, that's
and I reckon this is from that platemate we're going to look at.
It is, yeah, that's really lovely. It works really well together, doesn't it?
Yeah, and those lovely pastel brads again.
Oh, yes. That goes in with the yellow.
Yeah.
You think they planned it? And
the last
Julie
piece on
Campbell.
That's lovely,
That's
isn't it?
Nice. Yeah, I like the tool work.
I know sometimes we often forget about the outer part of the design, don't we?
Yeah.
And we tend to focus obviously on the beautiful artwork in the middle, but it's these little finishing touches that can really sort of make a difference to the card. And then finally we've got some artwork for the Japonica. I love this Japonica.
I love this one.
There we go, some artwork.
Wonderful. So again, another lovely one by Francis Knott.
Look at that.
Lovely colouring, isn't it?
That is
so beautiful.
All the design team do such an amazing job. They really do.
Rainbow parchment. That's
nice. Rainbow parchment. So you've got that lovely colour hue behind it.
Lovely
I think that's that might be the sunrise.
Yes, sorbet sunrise,
something like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's a lovely bit of grid work. Who do you think? Glynis?
There's using a little bit of stencil work on the paper on the card in the background.
See, that's the good thing about Groovy and stamps. Sometimes they work so well together, and stencils as well. It all kind of sometimes can blend in really lovely. Look at that. That's a lovely large card.
That's nice. And
isn't that using Jane's?
It is. That's Jane Nesterenko. I think that one might be from the Agapanthus.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
That's from Jane's Agapanthus nameplate.
Goes so well together, doesn't it, with these?
It really, really does. That lovely foliage.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay. So there's some lovely artwork to share with you on there. So if you're interested in the various different pages, if you go to the claritycrafts.com TV website, there's a button that says Clarity TV, just like that one that's behind me there, like so. So you click there, it's got TV in the corner. You click in there, and then everything that we're showing you during the course of this hour is available in the various different configurations, available individually, and also the other bits and pieces that Louise is going to be sharing with us during the course of this hour, because you've got a lovely little demonstration to share with us, haven't you? And we've created a download as well. So what we do is often when we bring you the Clarity Social TV shows is that if we do 1 or 2 or 3 demos, then we give you, if I show you on the overhead, so make sure we're on the full screen. So this is available for you to download. It tells you the time and the date of the TV show, what the project is called, what was made, and then a list of ingredients that allows you to, if you're thinking, oh, I haven't got that one, or maybe I need that. And then Louise will show us during the course of this hour how to create this. Now, this piece of artwork here could be a lovely topper on a card, but what Louise is going to do is it's going to be a coaster.
Very pretty little pink coaster. And the good thing about these is that you could actually create one in every colour for all 6 plates, because they've got the square panels as well as the rectangular panels as well.
Of course, so you could have a Japonica, a tulip, not a daffodil, a snowdrop, or maybe you just want to do a set of all the different snowdrops.
Yeah, you could do a set all in different colours. Or
yeah, so in which case you may want to top up on your Pergamano coasters. So we've got a multi-buy where you can get 2 packs of 4, so that gives you 8. So maybe your dining table sits 8 or 6, or maybe it just sits 4. Mine only sits 2. I don't invite anyone round. So you could have for all different occasions, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could. You could have Christmas ones and normal day ones, couldn't you?
Absolutely. So if you like the coasters, then the item number for that is 70260. Okay, Louise. So Where do we get started on this project?
Okay, so I thought I'd just mention this plate here.
Oh, yes.
Because I'm going to be using this one, and I think it's a really handy grid plate to have.
Okay, so let's just move that out of the way so we can see that on the overhead.
So lots of dots.
Yeah, so this is the plate mate for A5 square grids designed by the lovely Josie. I think it was Jim. They designed this together, I believe.
Yeah.
The item number for this is 41706. And we were talking about this morning, weren't we, Louise? Because these are just all embossed dots.
They are, yes.
To create frame after frame. But it's also great for positioning and lining up. You can see you've got these little areas here where you can position your parchment to make sure you're going straight. And then in addition to that, you also get your guides as well that Josie has created. So she's created 2 different projects, told you exactly what it is, and really it's just using the plate itself plus designer paper in the background.
Yeah.
And then she guides you through step by step on the 2 projects.
And that's really handy to have, isn't it, as well? So when you're doing your artwork, it's nice to have inspiration.
Yeah.
Especially from somebody that knows grids so well.
Josie is definitely the queen of grids,
queen
is
of
our
grids.
Josie.
Yeah, so I think it's a really lovely extra thing to have, you know, because usually the groovy plates come with a backing, but to have that little bit of inspiration and instructions can be really handy.
So you're going to be using this to create your little coaster?
I am, yes. I'm going to be using this little pattern in here.
Okay.
So that's what we will be doing.
Super.
So I'm going to use this plate mate during the hour.
Okay.
Nice and easy. So let me just grab. So to start off with the coaster.
Yeah.
I'm just going to rub my parchment with tumble dryer sheet.
Okay.
Just to lubricate the parchment so it doesn't go everywhere. So make sure that you've always got the
Yep, so you're using the nested
upwards.
Square from the starter kit.
I am. So what we're going to do first is I'm just going to, I think it's the 5th one. Let me just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes.
Okay, so the 5th one from the outside. Groovy tabs. We all need a good groovy tab.
Funny places that you find the groovy tabs, though.
Indeed.
Bathroom floor, living room floor, everywhere. So I've got my groovy guard.
Yeah.
Also very handy. Gosh, it's very warm in here, isn't it?
It is, and we've got the windows open as well, and I'm wearing a jumper.
Pull, pull.
So you're using the number 1 or the number 2?
I'm using the number 2.
Okay.
I'm going to use the number 2 first.
Right.
This kind of just seasons the groove. I always find it helps to do number 2 and then number 1 after, just to give that really precise,
crisp,
clean line. Yes.
Okay.
So now we've done that one. So this is a perfect size to go in the coaster.
Okay, so that was the 5th one in. Okay, yes. That's good to know. When you first use a groovy tab, they're super sticky, aren't they?
Really?
Oh, come off.
Get off, you little monkey. So now we are just going to move this one away and put this one in.
And so this is the plate that comes within that plate mate.
Yeah, so it's really handy having a plate inside, and some of them, they match within. So this one, where's it gone? This one is this one. So they all kind of like match.
They continue, so you can make, so you can make larger or smaller designs.
That's the one. So I'm just lining up. The good thing about this as well.
I'll zoom in a little, Lou.
Perfect.
There we go.
So I can use the dots around the outside, because I'm not going to use these 2 outer dots here.
Okay.
Around the outside, but it helps to line up so it's all nice and straight.
Oh, that's good.
She says, and she has to move her hands away to get the groovy sticker tabs. Right. So let's just line it up.
Yeah.
Get our trusty groovy guard in again. So we're going to use this outer one. That's the first box that's within.
Oh yes. On that frame.
Yes. Just come back in with number 1.
And it's all about the process, isn't it? And I think when you've got sort of this plate from Josie,
yes.
Where this morning we were looking at creating our own grid patterns and counting and everything else.
Yeah, it's really good. So now what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to start off by doing a few of these. So what we just really want to do is just, we're going to use all of these 4 around the outside.
Zoom in a little closer.
Oh, come a little closer.
There we go.
Perfect. So just going to be doing all of these.
And is it just the number 2 tool you're using?
Number 2, yes, for these. I think it's the best one. It gives you a nice round dot. Whereas I sometimes think maybe number 1 is a little bit too small for the dots.
Yeah.
You could use the 1mm Pergamano tool as well.
Yeah.
That's in between these 2 tools.
Okay.
So once you've done all of that.
Yeah. It's quite a lovely process, isn't it?
It is.
Sense of achievement.
When you do it all.
Yeah.
The big sense of achievement doing that. Oh,
I know you're doing a blue Peter, and here's one I made earlier.
I am, yes, because nobody wants to see me do. Well, people might want to see me do it all the way around, but some people might not. So there we go. Ta-da!
So that's just a lovely frame in its own right, isn't it? So you can have any sort of piece of groovy artwork in the middle there.
You can, yeah, and you've got so many choices here. So if you just want to do because the good thing about this coaster is there's no picot cutting involved. It's just very delicate and pretty. There's just one needle tool to create a little bit of a lace effect right in the middle.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of pergoliners and no picot cutting or anything. So
it really is achievable if maybe our friends are starting out for the first time.
Yeah.
I think this collection of sort of groovy plates, maybe you're sort of thinking, right, okay, I've got the starter kit. I want another collection to get going. And I think this collection of florals, because you've got the dahlia, the snowdrop, you've got the japonica, you've got the Scots pine, the tulip. It's a beautiful bouquet of flowers.
It is, yeah.
And when you look at the artwork that we shared with you at the beginning of the hour, and I mean, obviously snowdrops are white, but dahlias could be any colour. Yeah. And Barb showed yesterday with that japonica, that trick, creating the resist with the stamp. Was really, really beautiful.
Really clever.
And so have a look to see what colours the different flowers are. The Scots pine could be quite masculine, but quite wintry as well.
You could create some nice wintry Christmas cards with that as well.
Yeah, I could just imagine the perga glitter sprinkled on the pine cones.
Really nice.
Yeah.
The japonica, perfect for Japan month, really,
Absolutely.
as well. It looks like cherry blossom, doesn't it? And then you've got all of the other flowers for all sorts of different things.
Different times of the year, different seasons, yeah.
Rose, good for Valentine's Day.
But it's gone now, a bit late for that. Mother's Day is coming up though.
Late.
Yeah,
that's true.
Mother's Day, March, isn't it?
2
weeks.
Yeah, not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
Yes, there we go. Okay.
And the good thing I think also about these is that they're good for beginners as well as people with more experience, because you can colour them like Francis knots.
Yeah.
You can do all sorts of picot cutting. There's just so much you can do with these. And you can create large and small cards with them as well.
I think that's great because you've got the 3 different sizes on that each plate, haven't you?
Yeah, see, these would be lovely for a PTC or a small mini make.
Oh, that reminds me, I've got my PTC to do yet.
I've done mine, I just haven't sent mine, so I'm sorry to my swap partner. It's coming.
So's mine, but so's Christmas. Okay. So you're deciding on which one you want to go for. Because it's square, you've got the two different ones to choose from, haven't you, really?
I know, there's a nice one, just one on its own, which has got a nice little scroll in the middle.
But then again, I suppose if you've got that frame, you could go for the larger tulip, couldn't you?
I mean, the good thing about the Groovy system is that you could create this bit, you could stop here, and then just move it down.
And then put the bottom part in.
Yeah, you can make that into a square. Nothing stopping you from doing anything.
Absolutely.
Right, so let's just line that up. I think that looks okay there. And now it's moved from...
It's always worthwhile just taking the time just to make sure that it's nicely positioned, and then this is where the Groovy tabs really do come into play.
They really do. I don't know what we were saying actually about the Groovy sticker tabs earlier, weren't we? Just how good they are, because, you know, beforehand we used to use all sorts of different things.
We did, yeah. Low tack masking tape is too low tack. And then we used to use a low tack tape that was normally used in die cutting. But I often found that it was low tack in that respect until you came to lift it off your parchment, and then you could potentially rip your artwork
as well. I can feel a little bit of a resist, so I'm just using my tumble dry sheet.
Okay.
Just to keep it going. So I'm just using the number 2 tool just to do the flowers, because there's just a little bit of white work on the tips of the flower.
Okay.
So I think we'll use the number 1 tool for the stems and the leaf. It doesn't take long at all, really, does it, to do the line art for the Groovy?
No.
I mean, I did this fairly quickly. We have a little giveaway, don't we, at the end of the hour?
Oh, of course. Yes, we'll do a giveaway. So what is it you're going to give away then, Louise?
Well, I thought I made one earlier because I wanted just to see how long it would take.
Okay.
It's here somewhere.
So we'll give away a coaster then?
Yes. Yeah, I can cut it out and then put it in a coaster.
Perfect. Now, I wonder what word we can go for if you would like to win the coaster from Louise. I reckon, should we go coaster or should we go tulip?
Tulip.
Tulip.
I think, yeah.
Okay. If you pop the word tulip in the comments below, and then before the end of the hour, I'll scroll through and randomly pick a winner. Barb popped into the office today, so for those of you that won the giveaway on Friday, which was Annie, and then Doreen that won yesterday, they will be sent out to you today. Unless you've got an order in the system, then I'll pop it in with your order. So yeah, so that'd be lovely.
Yes, you get 2 surprises in one go.
You do indeed.
It's like all those lucky people that have those little, you know, Barbara's gift with the scenery.
Yes.
They'll be going out soon.
They are indeed. They're lovely. Lisa is printing like mad, chopping up, and her and Jilly are assembling those packs. So yes, they'll be winging their way soon. See, I love that you can choose the different elements of the frame. So you could have gone just a solid square.
Yeah, you've got 4 different frames here, all sorts of different combinations as well.
Yeah.
What would actually really be nice is, let me just finish this one. You know when you started and you want to finish? There we go. The nice thing is you could, like we were doing this morning, you know, with Tina's card.
Yeah.
We could put lots of little dots in here, or you can put some little patterns. You
can take a pattern from that plate, mate,
and put them in between the box and the little squiggly frame.
Yeah.
That's really nice. But the nice thing is they're funky, and like this is the one that, you know, Francis
was using to
create
that. Yeah.
Board around the outside. So there's so many things that you can do. I've done one earlier.
Okay. I know, the time just flies. Would you believe
does.
it's 25 to already? Now, what I thought I'd do, it might be a perfect opportunity, Louise, is to talk about the online 1, 2, 3 courses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So there was a lot of interest this morning and questions being asked about our brand new 1, 2, 3 online course. So it's something that we launched. We launched it on the 2nd of March, Sunday the 2nd of March. It was a 2-hour show. So again, you can go back and get more information if you want to listen in a little bit more detail. But what we're doing, we're bringing you, it's on a completely different platform. It's called Circle. So we're calling it the Inner Circle. And it's a 1, 2, 3 online course. And this is a foundation to groovy and parchment art. So maybe you've recently started doing groovy and you're thinking, right, I want to learn a little bit more. I'm happy with my tracing out. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring to you, it's 3 different sessions, okay? And it's all about, the first session will be white work.
Yeah.
The second session will be colour work. And the third session will be perforating and picot cutting, won't it? So if I bring this in on the overhead, I'm going to go, let's have a look, we're going to go here. So this is the little booklet. The item number is on your screen, 60220. The sessions will be live on Wednesday, the 2nd of April, the 9th of April, and the 16th of April. So it's like 3 plates, 3 dates, 3rd day of the week, Wednesday. If you can't tune into the live shows, don't worry, because you can go back and watch the live shows afterwards, but there will also be a pre-record that will become available straight after we've finished our live show.
Yes.
Okay, so what that course fee gives you for £60 is it gives you the key to the classroom door, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, where there's all sorts of different things in there. So there's got the Q&A,
yeah,
we were mentioning earlier, weren't we?
That's right. So we can see here we designed a series of plates that Louise and myself will be working towards. So first module, week 1, will be your white work, a list of ingredients down there. Then day 2, which would be the following week, is colour. We also give you 6 pieces of A6 parchment to practice your new techniques on. Day 3, which will be the 3rd session, is your picot cutting. And then just to make it nice and easy, what we've done is we've put an alphabetical list of the bits and pieces. And many of you at home will already have like the plate mate, the starter kit. Maybe you've already groovy number 1 and number 2 tools, brads, etc., etc. But you can actually download this list to look ahead to see if you're sort of sitting on the fence, whether you're all, what do I need? What do I need? I haven't got everything. Then you've got your term timetable. So if you enjoy what you're doing in the foundation course, but maybe you want to specialize, for example, in white work or in color or in picot cutting, then we'll be releasing those sessions later on in the year. But that doesn't mean that, oh, you've got to do the foundation before you can move on to there. If you're happy with where you've got at this point in your groovy bus journey, but you want to concentrate more on your color, then that session will be in September. Maybe you want to perfect your white work, the different types, using the different tools, from the embossing tools, the shader tools, the hockey stick, that type of thing. That would all be covered in that workshop later in the year.
And the star and the wheel tool, those sort of
extra
ones
absolutely.
as well.
So, and then this is the collection of plates that Louise will be using, which is 42470. But maybe you've got plates in your collection that you want to use. So when you order, we will send this out to you ahead of time. There's no club discount, and Japan 10 doesn't work on this because obviously it is a course, so it is exempt from that. But when you look at the value that you're going to get for basically £20 there, £20 there, and £20 there.
And it's a reoccurring course as well, so you can watch it as many times as you want. There's no limit on
Absolutely.
how many times you want to
You've
watch
got that
it.
key to that classroom door, and you can go in, you can come out, you can go in, you can come out. So if you can't join in on the lives, don't worry, you can go back and watch the lives after. You can watch the pre-record anytime. You can stop it, start it, fast forward it. So it's there for you. Right, I can't remember what she said on that bit. And it's available 24/7. So it's not like school where you can only come in between 9 and 5. You can access that whenever you choose to.
If you can't sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, you can watch it then.
Absolutely. So if you've signed up already, those emails will be sent out later this week. So if you don't receive an email by the end of the week, if you've already enrolled, check your junk mail, because sometimes these type of emails can go into your junk folder. But if you still haven't received anything, then either drop me an email, which is paul@claritystamp.com, or just give the office a call, and then we'll have a look into that to see why, for some reason, you haven't received your email or your key to the door, so to speak.
Exactly.
Okay, so where do we continue with this lovely journey, Louise?
Okay, so we've now got the tulip, and we will go on to the next stage.
Okay.
So in this stage here, I've already done a little bit of the white work there.
Oh, just at the tips of the tulips.
Yeah, just going to do just a little bit at the top, so it gives a little bit of interest to the tulip, gives it a different colour. So we're going to work on the back.
Yeah.
So embossing on the back.
They're on the soft side now, the squidgy side.
The squidgy side. Okay, so now we're just gonna come in with my 6mm.
Okay, I'm gonna come in on the side camera to see. Oh. There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Let me just move it just there.
That's it.
Lovely. So we're just going to use our little flicking motion, which is all the things that we'll be learning in the foundation course, but literally just.
Because with white work, this is where you have to learn patience.
You do,
isn't
yes.
it?
It is one of those things that if you're impatient, you're going to struggle with it, because it's like, I used to have a lady in my workshop who used to do, bless her, she had arthritis in her hands, but her white work was so lovely because she could never put a lot of pressure on in one go. So she would have to do so many layers to it, but it absolutely looked incredible.
I've never heard of any benefits of
no, I know.
having arthritis, but well,
that's
there
the only
you go.
Benefit I think that she had from it, probably, bless her.
Now, if I remember right, this lovely piece of artwork, this was a piece that the lovely Jane Telford stepped up for me when I demonstrated this back in the day on TV. And so Jane sort of very kindly, when I do TV shows, like on Hobby Maker, normally one of the design team very kindly create the finished piece of artwork and then stage it up, because just like Louise is doing here, there's no way we can go from start to finish
in one
hour.
No. So there we go. A little bit of white work just on the end of the front.
Let's have a look on that one.
Turn it over to the front. So I think that's 2 layers there.
Yeah, I'm going to zoom in a little, Lou.
You can see the difference between 1 and 2 layers.
Oh, yes.
That's very grey, and that's on the tips of it. It's very white. So now we've done our white work.
Okay.
We're going to move on to a little bit of colour work.
Right.
So we are going to bring in 2 pencils from our pergoliners.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn the black mat onto the hard surface.
Okay.
Brilliant. So, and we're working on the back with the colour, same as the embossing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use the B14 for the tulips and B15 for the stems and the leaf.
Okay, and why are they B pencils?
They're B pencils. They blend with Dorso oil, so I always look at B for blend.
Yeah.
Whereas the A's are water-based, which you can use B's and A's together on parchment.
Yeah.
You would put a base layer of the B down.
Okay.
And then you would, with your a very fine brush, then you would paint on top of that with your A's.
Right, okay.
Also, let me just bring that in. So we're going to use the Dorso oil as well with this.
Yeah.
But the good thing about Dorso oil is it just blends the colour really lovely. So I can just really not be too particular.
So you're just scribbling lightly with the pencil.
Yes, yeah. The good thing is the pigment on these pencils is so lovely that I'm not even pressing that hard, and you get really lovely, strong colour. And then also just around the edges here.
Nice. So I know in a minute if we turn this over and we put it on a white piece of paper underneath, it looks absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
It really, really does. And that's where the magic of the Dorso oil really does come into play, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, because you really do not have to be special about your colouring with Dorso oil. It's just to get that colour, the main colour down. See, you can see I'm not even really being careful. I mean, even if you go outside the lines, you have that eraser pencil, which has a white and a pink end. If you do go a little bit OTT over the lines.
Yeah. See, that's what I love, but so I don't need to be careful.
No. I'll show on a white bit of card what it looks like before the Dorso oil.
Before the magic happens.
Yes.
Yeah, it really doesn't, does it?
Yeah, it looks dreadful at the moment. So now the magic happens.
So the Dorso, everything is available individually, but we have a fantastic, it's the Pergamano Colour Accessories Kit. And in there, the item number for that is 70431. If I just bring that in, Louise, you can see here. So let's zoom out. There we go.
Really lovely.
So it's a lovely little kit, isn't it? So you've got your mix mats in there. Barb was using those yesterday.
Yeah.
Your spot-on sponges, your Dorso oil, your double-ended eraser, and a pack of 10 of the blending nibs, for refill for your pen. So the item number for that is 70431, and the price normally £21.47, brings a special price of £17.97. Diamond Club discount £15.27, plus another Japan 10 discount.
That's crazy.
Brings it down by another £1.50. So it really is.
Lots of different bits in there as well.
You have, and I mean the only real consumable is that the Dorso oil. But I've had my Dorso for a very long time.
It does last a long time.
It really does, doesn't it? There we go.
Yeah. That's what's gonna make this look really gonna blend in now. So I've used this before. Look, can you see?
Oh yes.
It's been used to an inch of its life. I always use this one. I tend to have a nib for a colour.
Yes.
If I'm doing something really intricate, I will change the nib.
Okay.
But for this sort of thing around the outside and something that you really don't have to be careful with, I would just reuse the same nib. Let me just do the flowers. How are we doing for time?
Yeah, about 15 minutes or so.
Lovely.
So I just love, can we put the piece of white card underneath just to show the comparisons between these two? And I'm going to zoom in now. So this really does show
the difference.
The difference. They would just allow that to focus. I'll just bring my hand in just to give it a bit of, there we go. So you can see here, that's where Louise has blended, and you've got that soft colour palette. And then that one there is still sort of all scratchy, and you can definitely see the intensity of the colour.
It does intensify, doesn't it? With
the as well. Down here as opposed to across the bottom where there isn't any.
Yeah.
I shall zoom out a little bit now so it's a little bit more forgiving.
Ta-da. So yeah, so that's.
Okay, so we have some questions.
Ooh.
So Stephanie Loveday.
Hello, Stephanie.
Is the frame with the curls at the corners on the snowdrop design as well? I believe it is. I believe they all have that same lovely filigree design down the side. I think they've all got the same frame, haven't they?
I think they do. Yeah.
Yes. So they've all got the same frames on all of the different plates. Yep, they have indeed.
They do, yeah.
So it's just the flowers that change within each of them. And in relation to that plate mate that he was using, Josie's plate mate, is it just embossing or piercing as well?
It's embossing.
It is just embossed dots. However, if you combine it with your basic grids, you can then perforate in between, say, for example, any empty spaces as well.
Which is what I would do. For example, this one up here.
Yeah.
You can have another 4 perforating holes and they make lovely crosses.
They would indeed.
So
they've been designed to work in conjunction with your basic grids if you then wanted to do any perforating.
Okay, so now I'm just going to jump ahead.
Yeah. You're good at jumping ahead,
Boing.
Louise. There we go.
There we go. So let me just bring in, I'm just going to do a little bit of piercing.
Okay.
Which is a really lovely decorative feature, I think, on things. It makes it look a bit lacy.
Yes, it's that effect that Barb refers to, where sort of you perforate in the background, but you're embossing the foreground. And what it does, it pushes the embossed line art forward more, doesn't it?
It does. So there we go. One more.
So we're doing the perforating from the front?
We are. Perforating from the front. Oh, stick a tab broken. There we go.
Barb's got a story about perforating and embossing, which way is which. You'll have to ask her one day, Louise. It's not repeatable on
air.
On air, no. So let's go to that side camera.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so now all we're just going to do, the good thing is, again, with the perforator, you can just go along.
And does it, are you using this straight or the diagonal?
I'm using the diagonal grid, and I'm using the 1 needle bold.
Okay.
With this one.
And is there a preference with the diagonal as opposed to the straight?
The good thing about the diagonal with this kind of work is it doesn't look uniform. So with the straight grid, all the dots are straight across and straight down, whereas the
more
diagonal,
regimental.
Yeah, the diagonal is slightly off kilter a little bit. So, but the good thing is that also with the straight grid is you can always just flip it diagonally, and it will look like a diagonal grid. And they just create different patterns, really. So that's if you were going to be doing lots of different grids and things, you can create lovely flowers with the diagonal one.
And I often find with the diagonal one, for irregular shapes, it has more of a natural look to it, as opposed to if you was using the straight grid. As we said, it can be quite regimental and quite sort of dot matrix.
Yes, yeah, it can look similar. So when you're doing something to do with flowers, it's nice to have something that looking a little bit more natural, isn't it?
Yeah.
But both are really lovely and just give such lovely different designs. There we go. So
should we have a look on the overhead on that? Yeah. I'm going to come in super close on this one. Let's see, I'm going to go in on
just a few.
That one. Give it a second. There we go.
Ah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
See, and it's quite subtle, isn't it, in the background?
Yeah, it is. It does. It's not over. So, for example, if you had lots of little dots there, I mean, the dots would actually look really nice with the diagonal grid if you wanted to carry it on, turn it over and put the dots in the frame.
To infill those areas, yes.
Yeah, so that would look really nice because that might tie in with the border. So you do lots of nice little dots in here, but then do the perforating dots there.
Yeah, because you can really say as you just apply the pressure, you can see how those little dots fit within that narrow area.
They do. You can get quite a few in there.
Yeah. I suppose if you've got the fine grids that we were showcasing this morning, that would definitely get into that area, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. The fine grid, you get quite a lot more dots in that area.
Yes.
So that's what I would do with the dots.
Okay.
And then
let's zoom out a little.
Jumping ahead. The jumping purposes.
Louise has got this down to a T in relation to the various different stages of it. I mean, Jane had already done a lot of these for us already, hadn't she?
I just created one because I like to know exactly how everything's done. So I had to do one from start to beginning.
Yeah.
So this is the one I did. It's got a name on it. So this is the one that I will give away to anyone that.
Yes. Should we pick a winner now?
Yeah,
should we pick a winner? Right. Okay. We're going to pick her. I'm going to go into the chat and I'm going to scroll through. I'm going to scroll through. You've got. You can look, Louise. I can't look. But you need to tell me when to stop and whether I'm stood in the chat.
Stop.
Stop. Okay. And the winner is. Where's my goggles gone? Pauline Canham.
Yay.
Congratulations, Paul. I'm sure I recognise that name. But if you'd like to drop me an email, paul@claritystamp.com, or just let Grace know. And then again, if you have an order with us that's outstanding, we'll pop that in there. But if not, we'll pop that in the post. But I'm sure I recognise that name. It's funny, isn't it? Because I print off the orders.
Yeah, you probably know.
There's a lot of familiar names. Faces, I'm rubbish with, and names. But when I see the names coming through on the order, I mean, some more often than others, especially during the Japan 10 promotion.
So you've probably seen my name a few times.
I have indeed, yes.
Can't get away with anything.
So, so Grace said that she has an order outstanding from yesterday. So I will make sure that once Louise has finished that, we will pop that in your order, unless it's already waiting for the postman to pick up already. So, okay, so where are we going from here?
So what I thought I'd do is actually, it's not on the finished design, but seeing as I'm giving this one away, I thought I would do what we were saying that we would do just now.
Okay.
Do the diagonal white dots in order. So, let me just quickly before.
So we're back on the back again.
We are back on the back. There we go. So, and I'm just going to zoom in
a little, Lou.
Perfect. Let me go off a bit. There we go. So just in here where we were going to say we would do white dots.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to do some white dots.
And that's just using the number 2.
Yeah.
Tool.
And that's a good thing about these with the dots is you can just follow it down.
All of a sudden now that gives it a completely different look, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? It just kind of ties in with the outside border as well.
From that platemate, from Josie's platemate, yes, definitely.
So it'll look very, I just thought I'd just do something a little bit different just to show everyone how versatile
the basic grids are.
Yeah,
definitely.
And again, it's this coaster. We haven't used any picot cutting or anything like that. It's just
tracing out. And I remember back in the day, colouring in, doing this type of embossed dot was a great way of adding colour without colour. If that sort of makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So you could take that lovely tulip. And you could infill the tulip itself with the dots.
Yeah, that would be really pretty.
And that would give it a completely different type of look.
Definitely, yeah. Or even the dotty look with colour behind it. That would look lovely as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's therapeutic, I find, doing this.
I know
You can
even
get
watch it.
lost.
I very rarely watch it because it's normally me doing it. But yeah. See, and although you're saying it's diagonal, you've done that straight line, but it's the line underneath that is offset to create that diagonal, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right. Can we have a look at what you've done then, Louise?
can.
You can finish this one. You can finish
I'll
this
finish
off
it
for
off.
homework.
I will do, and then we'll send it off. There we go. So yeah, that looks really nice with the
zoom out a little bit now.
With the dotty effect around the outside.
And as you pull away, you can definitely see the difference. If I bring in lovely Jane's one, you can see the difference. So it depends how much attention to detail you want to and how far you want to take the design itself.
Yeah, I mean they're all lovely, and like we were saying earlier, you could do one for every flower.
Yes.
And put them in your little coasters, and that would look really nice. But there's so many different things you can do with these, and they're so funky and
they're great
modern.
for your little mini makes as well, aren't they?
They are. They're perfect for mini makes, but you can make larger cards like we've seen from the design team. You know, you can really, the world's your oyster with these, really, because they are good for beginners. So they're good plates. If you're a beginner and you're just starting out,
yeah,
they would be perfect, you know, because you can just, there's no intricacy in this apart from a little bit of colouring.
Yeah.
Which, you know, even if you're not sure about the dorsal oil yet or anything that like we're going to be doing in the foundation course, you can just use your poker colours behind it, or, you know, so there's lots of different techniques, but you can decide what you want to do with them.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got one question. Lorraine asks, are you using the perforating board for the dots? So yes, the piercing grids, the basic grids, although they have holes drilled all the way through, you can use those to emboss as well as perforate. So they've got that dual purpose to them, haven't they?
Yeah, they're really handy in that respect. I mean, you obviously have these which are just for embossing.
The plate mate, yeah.
Plate mate. But yeah, with those grids, you can do all sorts of different things. You just have to turn it over, your work over.
I wonder where
line it up again.
Book. Okay.
And line it up again, and then you've got that design ready to go.
Yeah. Again. Okay. So Linda Williams created this fantastic little guide to grid. Say little, it's an A4. It's a guide to grid work. And the item number for the book on its own is 31723. Okay. And it's the tip of the iceberg, and it's just using the basic grids. And when we say about the basic grids, the holes are drilled all the way through. But if I just show you, we had a look at this earlier on.
We did.
I know we're sort of running over slightly. If I bring this in on the overhead, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that. So you can perforate with the grid. So Linda takes us through step by step on what you can do. So for example, doing a series of 4 perforation, this on a straight grid. It also covers the diagonal grid. I'm going to come in one step closer. There we go, just let that focus. Come on, play nicely. Probably came in too quick.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Okay, so you can see here, using the basic grid, you can perforate a series of 4 dots, miss 4, perforate 4, miss 4, perforate 4. But what you can also do, if you're not into your perforating, using the same grid, you can then emboss that same pattern. Okay, but then if you wanted to, because the grid is a series of holes, you could then perforate in between each of those spaces as well. So you'll get a different look. So if you're after some more information on that, it really is a great introduction on what the basic grids can do, aren't they?
Yeah, and you've got all sorts of different ways of joining the dots up to make a really intricate pattern.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, really.
And this covers both the straight and the diagonal grid as well. So if you're interested, the item is 31723, and I know it's $11.99 plus your club discount plus Japan 10 as well. But if you're not in the clubs and you're just Japan 10, so that's £12, that's £1.20 off.
That's really good.
And it really is. There's some lovely
inspiration
artwork in the back as well. So it really is. And Louise was saying this morning that you could work through this book, just practice Just do exactly what Linda's done, little squares, and have a play. And then either keep them in the book, or when we get those folders back in stock, the little mini makes folders, you could have them in there as well. So, so I hope that's helped. I've had a fantastic day with Louise today.
I know we've done lots, haven't we?
We have indeed, yes.
It's been really good. Really enjoyed myself.
So don't forget, if you've missed any of the shows, you can go back to either the Catch Up and Craft section on the claritycrafts.com website, or you can head over to our YouTube page as well, where everything is available, from the shack to the craft alongs, Groovy Tuesdays. There's hours and hours and hours of pure entertainment, education, and it's all there for you. So that's all for today. So next on the schedule is Thursday evening in the Shack Barb, continuing on the alphabet, and those lovely umbrellas.
Yes, they're really
the umbrellas
lovely.
with the infusion papers. And then we'll be back together. Barb and I will be back on Friday at 10 and 2 with a brand new launch of some amazing products, stamps and Groovy. So thank you as always for your company. Thank you to the lovely Grace and the design team in the room. And enjoy the rest of your afternoon, evening. And I will see you on Friday morning.
Have a lovely afternoon, guys. Thank you, Paul.
Take